Please remember to like this video, leave your thoughts below, and subscribe for more heartwarming stories. It was a morning wrapped in soft gray clouds and gentle rain, the kind that whispers against windows and makes you want to linger under warm blankets with something hot to sip and pages to turn. I lived by myself in a modest cottage on Birchwood Street, a quiet neighborhood where folks exchanged polite nods and occasional pleasantries, but rarely anything deeper. We all knew each other's faces, yet remained strangers in most ways that mattered. Life had settled into predictable rhythms, peaceful, steady, and admittedly rather solitary. That particular morning found me at my kitchen table, gazing through rain-streaked glass at my small garden. The lavender bushes drooped under the weight of moisture, and the old elm tree swayed lazily in the breeze. I was drifting between thoughts, cradling my herbal tea, when a gentle knock interrupted the quiet. Visitors were rare. My daughter Emma had her own busy life across town, and most friends were occupied with their own families and commitments. Curious, I set down my cup and went to answer. Standing on my doorstep was Mr. Garrett, my neighbor from down the street, a distinguished gentleman with gray hair and gentle features. We'd shared brief exchanges over the years, but never anything substantial. He held a small wrapped item and seemed unusually hesitant. "Good morning, Claire," he greeted warmly, though I detected nervousness in his tone. "I hope I'm not intruding." "Not at all," I assured him with a smile. "How can I help you?" "Please call me Robert," he said, returning the smile. "I noticed you spend considerable time in your garden. You have quite a gift with plants." I laughed softly. "It's therapeutic for me. I enjoy the quiet work." He nodded, then extended the package. "I came across this at the local artisan market and thought you might appreciate it. Just a small token." Surprised by the unexpected gesture, I accepted the gift. "That's very thoughtful, Robert. Thank you." He shifted slightly, looking almost bashful. "Well, I'll let you return to your morning. Have a pleasant day, Claire. You as well," I replied, watching him walk back down the wet pathway. Inside, I carefully unwrapped the package to discover an exquisite handmade planter, adorned with painted wildflowers and delicate leaves. It was exactly something I would have selected myself. Running my fingers across its smooth surface, I felt an unexpected mix of emotions, appreciation, curiosity, and something else I couldn't quite identify. That afternoon, I nestled a small succulent into the planter and positioned it on my front steps. I found myself glancing toward Robert's home more frequently than usual, wondering about this neighbor I'd barely known despite years of proximity. The following day, inspired by his kindness, I prepared a batch of homemade shortbread using my mother's cherished recipe. With the treats carefully arranged on a plate, I walked to Robert's door. His surprise quickly transformed into genuine pleasure when he saw me. "I wanted to thank you properly for the lovely planter," I explained, offering the cookies. His smile deepened. "You really didn't need to, but I'm grateful. Would you perhaps join me for some tea?" After a moment's consideration, I accepted. His home was welcoming, filled with books, comfortable furniture, and a stone hearth. We settled at his kitchen table with steaming cups, conversation flowing naturally about gardens, literature, and past adventures. I was struck by how effortless it felt, how comfortable his presence was. Walking home later, I recognized how much I'd missed genuine connection. It wasn't merely about gifts or gestures. It was how Robert had truly seen me, acknowledged me as more than just another neighbor. That evening, lying in bed, I reflected on his unexpected kindness and how it had stirred something within me. A simple act had opened possibilities I hadn't realized I'd been missing. The following days felt subtly different, as if the world had shifted to reveal previously hidden beauty. When the rain cleared and sunshine returned, everything seemed more vibrant. Or perhaps I was simply viewing it differently. I found myself thinking of Robert frequently. Our tea conversation had flowed so naturally. Beyond the topics discussed, it was his attentive listening that lingered in my memory, making me feel truly heard. Several days later, while tending my rose bushes, I heard approaching footsteps. Robert appeared, hands casually in his pockets, wearing a warm smile. "Good morning, Claire," he said, pausing at my garden gate. "Your roses are magnificent. You have remarkable skill." Brushing soil from my hands, I smiled back. "Thank you, Robert. They're my special project. Would you like a closer look?" He accepted eagerly, and I guided him through, explaining the different varieties: the deep crimsons, delicate pinks, pristine whites. He listened intently, asking thoughtful questions. "I've always admired gardens like this," he admitted, "but never developed the patience myself. Your dedication is impressive." "It's simpler than it appears," I assured him. "Just requires time and care." He chuckled. "Perhaps you could share some wisdom with a novice." Without overthinking, I responded, "I'd enjoy that. Come by tomorrow morning and we'll begin with basics." His face brightened noticeably. "I'd appreciate that immensely, Claire." The next morning, Robert arrived promptly, dressed casually for garden work. I provided gloves and demonstrated soil preparation. We worked companionably, sharing stories and laughter while planting and watering. Time passed pleasantly, and I found myself genuinely enjoying his company. Our gardening sessions evolved into regular meetings, sometimes at my place, sometimes his, always filled with easy conversation and growing friendship. One afternoon, after planting spring bulbs in his yard, Robert suggested we rest on his porch. He brought refreshments, and we relaxed in dappled shade, watching birds visit the feeders. "You know," he said thoughtfully, "I've lived here many years but never truly connected with neighbors. I suppose I've been somewhat reclusive." I understood completely. It's easy to become isolated without realizing it, even surrounded by people. He met my eyes meaningfully. "I'm grateful you're here, Claire. You've brought warmth back to this neighborhood." His words touched me deeply. "Thank you, Robert. That means more than you know." We sat in companionable quiet, the kind that needs no filling. The gentle breeze and warm sunshine created a perfect moment of peace I hadn't experienced in ages. As weeks progressed, our bond deepened. We shared personal stories, family memories, and future hopes. I learned about his career as an educator, his passion for classical music, and fondness for vintage films. He spoke lovingly of his late wife, Catherine, and the life they'd built together. She was my everything. He shared one evening as we watched the sunset. I never imagined finding such connection again. My heart ached for his loss. Grief is a difficult companion. He nodded thoughtfully. "But I believe she'd be pleased seeing me like this, finding joy again." His words resonated long after we parted that night. Later, contemplating our unexpected friendship, I marveled at how naturally it had developed. This connection had become precious to me, and I wondered where our journey might lead. Life tests us unexpectedly, doesn't it? Just when we find our balance, something shifts everything. For Robert and me, that test arrived as a fierce storm. It was early autumn, unseasonably warm. Leaves were beginning their colorful transformation, painting our street in golds and reds. Robert and I had grown even closer, sharing meals, enjoying films, exploring nearby areas together. We were building something meaningful. Then the storm arrived. It began with distant thunder, dark clouds gathering ominously. By evening, wind howled and rain fell in torrents. I watched from my window as trees bent dangerously, rain hammering the glass. Power flickered, then failed completely, plunging everything into darkness. I lit candles and found flashlights, trying to remain calm despite growing unease. Then came a tremendous crash, splintering wood. My heart raced as I grabbed rain gear and rushed outside. Wind tore at me, rain soaking through immediately. Following the sound led me to Robert's house, where I discovered the source. A large tree had fallen, crushing through his roof. "Robert," I called, pounding on his door, "are you all right?" He answered, looking shaken but uninjured, "Claire, I'm fine, but the tree came through the ceiling." Inside, damage was extensive. The tree had breached his living room, debris scattered everywhere, rain pouring through. "You can't stay here," I insisted, grasping his arm. "It's dangerous." He surveyed the destruction reluctantly. "But you're home. We'll be fine." I interrupted, "You're coming with me." He didn't protest further. We gathered essentials, clothing, medications, a cherished photo of Catherine, and hurried through the storm to my house. Once safe inside, I provided dry clothes and towels. "Change into these. I'll prepare something warm." When he returned, I had tea ready and a fire crackling. He looked exhausted but grateful. "Thank you, Claire," he said quietly. "I don't know what I would have done alone." I handed him tea, sitting beside him. "That's what friends do. We help each other." We sat quietly, listening to the storm while firelight created a cozy atmosphere despite the chaos outside. This reminds me of a storm Catherine and I weathered early in our marriage. Robert shared. We had little materially, but we had each other. That was everything. I smiled, touched by the memory. "She sounds wonderful." She was. He said softly, "You remind me of her in many ways." His words surprised me, warming my cheeks. "Robert," he took my hand gently. "Claire, I need to say this. These months with you have brought light back into my world. I don't want to lose that." Looking into his sincere eyes, my heart raced, not from fear but from hope. "You've brought light to my life too, Robert. I hadn't realized how much I needed someone like you." His smile was radiant. "Perhaps we can navigate this together." I nodded, feeling profound peace together. The storm continued outside, but inside felt bright and warm. We talked through the night until rain ceased and dawn approached. Morning arrived clear and fresh, promising new beginnings. The air smelled of wet earth and fallen leaves. Sunlight streaming through windows felt like hope itself. Over breakfast, we discussed practical matters: insurance, repairs, contractors. Working together felt natural, strengthening our bond further. Days passed in shared effort, bringing us even closer. One evening, watching sunset paint the sky in brilliant colors, Robert spoke seriously. "I've been thinking about us, about building something together." My pulse quickened as he continued. "Life's too precious to waste. I want to spend mine with you if you'll have me." Tears of joy gathered as I responded. "I want that too, Robert, more than anything." We decided to merge our lives gradually. Robert spent increasing time at my home until it felt natural. We discussed dreams, travel plans, growing older together. Exciting, scary, and wonderful simultaneously. One beautiful autumn morning, walking hand in hand through fallen leaves, Robert stopped suddenly. "Catherine would have adored you," he said. "She always said I needed someone with spirit and kindness." "That's you, Claire." Moved beyond words, I squeezed his hand. "Thank you, that means everything." He faced me, taking both my hands. "We may not be young, but we have good years ahead. I want to share everyone with you." Through happy tears, I agreed wholeheartedly. He kissed me then, tender, gentle, full of promise. In that moment, surrounded by autumn's beauty and his warmth, I knew this was just our beginning. Walking on together, sunshine warming us and leaves crunching underfoot, gratitude filled my heart for Robert, for our life together, for the unexpected kindness that brought us here. Life had tested us with storms, but we'd emerged stronger. Looking ahead, I knew we'd face whatever came next together. Because sometimes life's most beautiful gifts arrive when least expected.